Good morning and a very warm second edition of ILET's National Water Innovation and Sanitation Summit. We had a very eventful program inaugural today in the morning. The second edition of the National Water and Innovation Summit is being organized in partnership with the Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India. The Embassy of Israel is the country partner. Namami Gange and JICA are the supporting partners. Plus, also the e-governance magazine is the knowledge partner in this conference. This is a whole day conference. We have started 9:30 today, and we had a very illustrious speakers there in the program inaugural. We are joined by the Director General of National Mission for Clean Ganga as the keynote speaker. There were ambassadors from various countries like Japan, like Israel, Denmark, and Mauritius, who had given their perspective on a holistic development of the water sector, not only in India, but also throughout the world. Water is a very scarce commodity. And with growing urbanization, growing industrialization, and the climate changes, there's a lot of pressure being put up in this precious planetary resource. So going forward, we have a very special guest with us from the corporate sector. He is Mr. Rajiv Kumar Baranwal. He's an additional general manager in National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development and NABARD. NABARD is a household name in India, primarily for this development of the agricultural and rural sector in India. So agriculture and water, they go hand in hand. So Mr. Rajiv Baranwal will give his perspective of how NABARD has been instrumental for promoting the cause of water conservation and sustainable farming practices in India. So Mr. Baranwal will give a short presentation of around 10 minutes. Over to you, Mr. Baranwal. Warm welcome to the second edition of National Water Innovation Summit.
Good morning to all delegates. And thank you to Mr. Mishra for inviting me for this program. As introduced by Mr. Mishra, I am Rajiv Baranwal, AGM in NABARD, working at Uttar Pradesh Regional Office, Lucknow. As you may be aware, NABARD is a apex level development finance institution created by NABARD Act in 1981 to look exclusively after the financial needs of agriculture and rural development. So we are working on this sector, and as I proceed, I would like to share my presentation. There is some issue. The browser has blocked my screen.
No problem. I would request my technical team if they can share their PPT on your behalf. In the meanwhile, you can also please try.
Okay. So I will begin with some of the water resources statistics which are already known to everybody, but still at the cost of repetition, I would share it. That next, please. Although we are blessed with the rainfall, we have an annual rainfall of 4,000 billion cubic meter. However, our estimated reutilizable water resources are only 1123 billion cubic meter. Of this, we can see that the surface water resources are 690 billion cubic meter, which is 63%, and the 37% only is the groundwater resources. And we are utilizing water resources of 702 billion cubic meters. And the biggest water user in India is the agriculture sector, which utilizes more than 70% of the water available to us. Next, please. As I said, that the biggest utilizer of the water is agriculture. And when we see the statistics about irrigation, we see that the ultimate irrigation potential is 139 million hectares, of which 46% is by groundwater, that is 64.05 million hectares, and by surface water it is 75.85 million hectares. So the trend here also is the same, that we are the potential is more for surface water irrigation, and the potential created is 112.5g million hectares, although the utilization is quite low at 79%. What I am trying to emphasize is that our groundwater is the major source of irrigation which is being used for our various requirements, and it is contributing to 2/3 of the irrigation requirements. and 80% of the domestic requirement. So there is a sort of paradox that although we are blessed with abundant water, surface water resources, we are more dependent upon groundwater resources. Next, please. From here, as Mr. Mishra has said, I will be telling you the role of the NABARD in water resources development. So, being a financial institution, we do lot of work for promotion of private investment in irrigation. So, for this purpose, we have been doing the sectoral credit planning, monitoring, and coordination since late 80s. There is a participatory approach, consultative approach, according to which the block level plans are made for credit planning of all sectors related to agriculture, including irrigation. And then this plan is amalgamated into a district potential credit plan, which is adopted by the district consultative committee of bankers. And then again it has been compiled in the form of state focus paper, which is launched in an event called State Credit Seminar at the state level. And accordingly, the targets of the banks are decided about various sectors, what sort of credit is likely to go in which sector, the potential is being accessed, and the targets are fixed for banks. And then these targets are monitored in the district level forums like district level review committee or state level bankers committee meetings. And then the sort of coordination work between the line departments and bankers is also being done by NABARD. Further, to guide the bankers for major investments in irrigation sector, unit costs are fixed. These unit costs are fixed by these are worked out by our technical officers, and then there is a state level unit cost committee meeting in each of the states, where there are representatives from line departments of the state government as well as major bankers, and where these units are finalized. In furtherance to our cause of water resources development, area development schemes are also prepared, and then they are monitored in the BLBC forum and the DLCC forum. Similarly, we are preparing model bankable projects for all sectors, including irrigation, and then these projects are available in the public domain on the NABARD website for use of all, for the use of the actual people who are going to put up that projects and the bankers who are going to finance these projects, and the guidance on technical feasibility and financial viability of the projects is shared here. Besides this, next please. Next please. Besides this, we have been providing refinance to banks since the 82, since NABARD has come into existence. Besides providing refinance to the bank for credit flow to the irrigation sector, we have also been involved in direct financing, and for this, various type of funds have been created in NABARD. So one of the such fund is Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, which is into its 25th tranche as of now. And here we have sanctioned numerous irrigation projects so that we can cover 341 lakh hectares of irrigation potential can be created. These projects for these projects, a loan of 1 crore 31 lakh 25 crores have been sanctioned, of which almost 70% has already been disbursed, and while lots of potential has already been developed. Then there is another fund called Long-Term Irrigation Fund. This fund has been exclusively used for 99 incomplete major and medium irrigation projects in 18 states. Now 4 more projects have been added to it, and here it is envisaged that by completion of these projects, we would be able to bring additionally 34 lakh hectares of area into irrigation. For this, again, 81,000 crores, more than 81,000 crores have been sanctioned, of which more than 50% has already been disbursed. Further, there is another fund called Micro Irrigation Fund, which is being 4 state governments have utilized this fund, and they are targeting to cover an area of 11 lakh hectares for irrigation potential, and for this we have sanctioned a amount of 2,842 crore rupees. The disbursements are yet to take off. This is a relatively new fund, so projects have been sanctioned, but disbursements are yet to take off. Then from our own resources, we have also been lending through NIDA. So here also we have sanctioned 6 projects under irrigation sector with an aim to cover 5 lakh hectares, almost 6 lakh hectares of area. And then here the sanction amount is again 11,000 crores with the disbursement of 3,765 crores. All those things are loans. Besides this loan products, we are also having a watershed development fund which we have carved out of our profits, and here we are funding integrated watershed development projects across the country. So here we have till date we have sanctioned some 3,295 projects, and the coverage is 23 lakh hectares. The amount sanctioned is 21 to 2,147 crores, and the disbursement is 1,804 crores. Of this, around 2,000 projects have already been completed, and the major objective of the watershed development fund is to develop the watershed so that the irrigation recharge happens, the soil quality improves, as well as the groundwater gets recharged. One important component what we do here is that we also insist on the capacity building of the community so that they can run this project in a sustainable manner, and then they are also given exposure to water saving techniques like sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation. Next, please. Then I would like to flag some concerns here that in the past 13 years, we see that we have used our groundwater to great extent. In 2004, when we were having a 58% development of groundwater, we have now reached a state of 63.33%. Further, as pointed out earlier, there is an imbalance in utilization of water resources. We see that although we have got abundant surface water resources, but we are more dependent upon groundwater resources. Perhaps there is a need to have a more focus on conjunctive use of water for irrigation. Then another cause of concern is the low irrigation efficiency in surface irrigation projects. The data suggests that the overall efficiency of surface water projects is 38%, whereas for groundwater projects where the conveyance distances are low, there the irrigation efficiencies are as high as 70 to 80%. The major losses are due to our transportation of water through conveyance of water through canals. So a suggestion here is that we may think of replacing this, retrofitting this surface canals with buried pipeline, and maybe we need to develop irrigation cooperatives for long distance pipe water transport system in place of subminers and field channels. Then another cause of concern is the excessive sand mining. This sand mining is changing the morphology of the rivers, and which is leading to faster flow during the flush season and reduced base flow, which is leading to drying of the seasons in the lean season. Further, it is also affecting the water table of the surrounding areas adversely. Then we also have to think what is the impact of the infrastructure development. The way we are going for the concretization and urbanization of our areas, we are directly reducing the recharge of the recharge areas of groundwater. And then this infrastructure development, if it is not very well planned, then this is also affecting the subsurface movement of the water, and it is affecting our resources. So a thorough geological survey may be undertaken before planning this type of infrastructure. Then further, there are impact of agricultural practices. Although we have adopted lots of very good practices, but there is one practice of using rotavator for land preparation. So due to this continuous use of rotavator, now we are finding the problem of hard pan in most of our areas. So some thought needs to be given that the awareness should be created that farmers should be again move toward deep plowing, summer plowing of their fields. So these were the some of the concerns which I wanted to share with the audience. And here I end my talk. Thanks a lot to everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Manupal. Great insights indeed. NABARD is working so much for the holistic development for the sustainable farming and farm practices. In fact, it has been an eye-opener for us also. And this is quite a need of the hour as well, that unless the industry comes forward and creates greater awareness about the sustainable practices, the going will be tough as we move forward from here. So we are just now we have run out of the time now. I thank you so much for preparing this and presenting this industry presentation and giving us the NABARD's perspective. As a token of gratitude, we present this certificate of appreciation to Mr. Rajiv Kumar Baranwal. He is an Assistant General Manager, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD. NABARD has been instrumental for cause of water conservation and development. Thank you, Mr. Baranwal. And we now carry on with the next session, which is interactive panel discussion on sustainable water management. Thank you so much.